Hey GAWDA members, welcome to the final GAWDA TV episode of 2024. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for all of your continued support during this record-setting year for the association. We're lucky enough to be joined first today by our newly inaugurated GAWDA president, Eric Wood. Woody, thank you so much for being with us today. During your inaugural address in Phoenix, you laid out your theme for 2025, Sustaining a Resilient Culture. Can you expand on that idea a little bit? What drew you to that theme, and what kinds of things do you want to talk about this year with regards to sustaining a resilient culture, especially in GAWDA's 80th anniversary year?
Culture is very important to most organizations, or every organization, I should say, and why I've chosen to give it a lot of focus is we talk a lot today about the brain drain and the changes in organizations and organizations losing valuable long-term employees, and oftentimes we're worried about the loss of the technical knowledge or the customer relationships that these people take away. But we're also very concerned here within our organization about the displacement and the absence of the culture that has helped us sustain over 100 years now. And being an employee-owned company, it's very important to us, as I'm sure it is the rest of the membership, is that as new employees come in, that they are not only learning the processes and the technology which make us successful in the marketplace, but also the culture that we feel separates us and gives our customers that family-like and work atmosphere internally and externally.
You just touched on it. Working for O.E. Meyer and sustaining a culture that has been built for more than a century, as well as following your dad's footsteps as GAWDA president, puts you in a unique position to talk about sustaining a resilient culture. Can you share with us any advice that he may have offered to you as you prepared to take on this role?
Really, the advice, he helped encourage me and gave me confidence to know that I wouldn't have difficulties balancing the GAWDA commitments with my responsibilities here within our organization, and quite honestly, it's the resilient culture and what we've worked hard to empower our people and decision making on all levels that has really allowed me the opportunity to step away, not step away from the business, but to dedicate time and resources to GAWDA. And really, his advice is that he had advised me to just spend a certain amount of time each day on GAWDA and dedicate the rest to O.E. Meyer. And so far, I try to take an hour or so at the end of the day and dedicate that time to whatever GAWDA needs from me at that time. But really, the advice is that you got a good team behind you. You've prepared for this, and you've prepared your team. Our leadership team has prepared our organization for my absence, as well as other leaders in the organization's absence if something was to happen.
That's one thing that all GAWDA presidents have talked about, is the importance of balancing the time commitments of being the president of GAWDA as well as their roles within their companies. Leading up to becoming president, what did those conversations look like inside O.E. Meyer between you, Brian, and Mike?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We wanted to make sure that, we worked hard over the last couple of years. As we've grown, we've added other layers of management within our organization, and we've given several individuals more responsibilities. And with that, I think it's definitely, the conversations were very supportive. Brian and Mike, very supportive of this for me, and understanding that, that they, as well as the team that we've established, would be flawless, and so far they're not missing me at all, and maybe doing even better. But no, there was just as the support from my family to dedicate the time. Brian and Mike are very, very supportive, and I don't worry about a thing when I'm not here.
GAWDA sent out an email right before Thanksgiving previewing next year's SMC, which will take place in Dallas from May 4th to the 6th. Obviously, the final schedule is still being worked out, but what are you most excited about that you can share with viewers to get them excited for this year's SMC?
About the SMC coming up, we're excited about Dallas. Dallas is a city that we haven't been in a while, and we're also I'm going to expose the membership to the Omni chain of hotels, the Omni Resorts. So we're working hard to build other relationships with other hotels and convention space, so we can diversify our, where we're visiting. Marriott's have kind of, I don't want to say boxed us in, but there's only so many cities that we can go to where Marriott's can accommodate us. So I'm excited that we're going to be starting a new relationship with Omni. So we'll be using an Omni in Dallas, and I know Allie will be using one in Oklahoma, and I believe we're using one in Boston. So we're excited we visited the Omnis. We like that space. And GAWDA has some really cool things to celebrate in this upcoming year with our 80th anniversary, as well as we'll be showcasing and talking to membership about some of the new offerings that GAWDA will be providing. With the ACE driver training program and Cerity Partners with the 401k fiduciary management for the membership. So there's some really exciting things that the GAWDA staff has been working on, and I was just fortunate enough to be able to be president during that time to when all that stuff is going to be rolled out.
As you just alluded to, this has been a really exciting year for the association as we unveiled multiple new programs for members. What are you most looking forward to for GAWDA for 2025 to keep that momentum going?
One of the things I'm most excited about is the involvement and the activity and passion around the young professionals. It's very encouraging to see younger individuals coming into our organization, embracing our organization, and also becoming involved. Since the last few meetings and having the opportunity to be on the board and seeing the committees, we have more volunteers wanting to be on committees right now than spaces for new committee members. So we're looking at how can we keep everybody engaged and get newer members to GAWDA involved. And it's very encouraging to see the enthusiasm and the involvement from the young professionals. And that's one of the things I'm most excited about is watching new people come into the industry, form relationships like I've had the chance to form, and get involved in the organization to benefit them, personally and their companies back home. To me, that's one of the things I'm most excited about is the next generation of GAWDA leaders.
Is there anything else that you want to share with viewers before we go today?
Thanks for taking the time to listen to what I have to say today. Very honored to have the opportunity to represent GAWDA. You'll be hearing from me quite a bit, I'm sure, over the next year. Most importantly, I know we're on the holiday season, and it's my wish that everybody be safe, enjoy your families, and we'll look forward to talking to you all again soon.
Woody, thank you so much for being with us today. We can't wait to continue to work with you throughout your year as president. We hope you have a great Christmas and a happy New Year. We've got a great episode lined up for you today, and it all comes right after a word from today's presenting sponsor, Weldcoa. During this year's GAWDA annual convention in Phoenix, Arizona, we had the opportunity to interview Robert Anders and Joe Baxter from Holston Gases during the Contact Booth program. Thank you so much to Robert and Joe for taking the time to speak to us in Arizona, and congratulations to both of them as they embark on their new role within Holston. All right, we are here today with Joe Baxter, Robert Anders, President and CEO of Holston Gases. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today.
Steve.
So, earlier this summer, it was announced that Holston Gases will be going through a transition, with Joe, you being named the president of the company, and Robert, you transitioning to CEO. I know it was a long transition, so can you just talk about the transition process and the steps of the transition and what it was like to go through that process?
Well, it's been a long process, but we always try to do kind of 3 to 5 year plans. We didn't try to get too far out ahead of ourselves. And about 2 years ago, I moved back to Knoxville, our headquarters, and literally worked in the same office as Robert for 2 years, and had lunch every Monday, had a staff meeting every week with all of the staff that's been reporting to Robert for years. So we worked a lot together in the years leading up to it, but definitely the last 2. So that was help. And Robert being willing to help and taking the role as mentor and letting me try to run some of the day-to-day stuff, and being willing to help and willing to teach was a big part of it.
Yeah, it really accelerated over the last 3 to 5 years, but we had a vision when Joe came into the business 13 years ago, and we had a hope and a dream that a process would be followed through, and that would lead to this point where we'd make the transition to the 3rd generation. And when Bill and I were just so happy that Joe stepped up at every level, achieved the markers that we wanted him to achieve to earn the right to be able to run this business. So that was kind of the process. It's been a long step-by-step process starting 13, 14 years ago.
Absolutely. So you talk about transitioning to the 3rd generation of the company. Obviously, earlier this summer, you suffered a huge loss with your father, Bill Baxter, passing away. He obviously left an incredible legacy within the company and obviously within your family. So can you just talk about the loss of Bill Baxter, the legacy that he's going to leave within Holston Gases?
Well, I know Robert said this a lot, but Dad was kind of a lot of the vision within the company. Robert's been running the company since '97, so but Dad was a lot of the vision. And I was joking with somebody the other day. I got 50% of my DNA's Bill Baxter, and so if I get 50% of his vision, I think we'll be all right.
Bill's dad started the business in 1958, and I give Pat all the kudos in the world for getting the business started. But what we are today, who Holston is today, is due to Bill's focus and his vision. And I think that's the legacy. I think what he's done is he's created a culture within Holston Gases that we've been able to transfer to next generation, and not just next generation of the Baxters, but next generation of employee at Holston Gas.
So now that you've gone through this transition, you've kind of in the next generation, let's say, of Holston Gas. What are you most excited about for the next 5 to 10 years of the company?
Well, last 20 years, we've probably opened 20, 25 stores, and so I'm excited about organic growth. And Robert, we've tasked Robert with being on the acquisition side of things and distributor business, and we'd like to expand that. And we've got some things that we've invested heavily in that'll help us do that. But me just kind of focusing on the organic growth and our people. We've got a lot of places where we have 5-10% of the market share. So just growing those markets that we're already in, and then taking opportunities for acquisitions when we can, and maybe growing some of this distributor business.
Well, 5 to 10 year time frame is Joe's. He's fixed on that. Yeah. At my age, they talk about you don't buy green bananas. But I'm really excited about the next transition, the transition we're doing into consolidating our market share, growing in. So we just got into. We've got work to do in just markets that we've entered without expansion. But I got a feeling we're going to continue to expand.
So you went through a process that a lot of GAWDA members are kind of dealing with, similar process, going from generation to generation, waiting for a leadership transition. So that 3 to 5 year process that you talked about, do you have any advice for other GAWDA members that are going through a similar process, based on your lived experience?
I think having a plan, like I said, 3 to 5 years. I think anybody that's trying to make a plan out further than that is going to run into stuff. Life happens, but yeah, a good 3 to 5 year plan, and then, as Robert said, just making sure that you set some goals, and if you hit them, you keep moving, and if you don't, you veer a little bit. So, just setting some good goals in a 3 to 5 year window, I think, is really good advice.
I think that's true, and I think having a vision of what you want to accomplish and how you want it to ultimately the outcome to be, and then taking steps on a daily basis and a weekly basis and a monthly basis. Communication, making sure everybody is on the same song sheet, and if you are, then it's to the next generation to hit those markers and step up, and when it happens, you're ready.
Absolutely. So we kind of covered what you're excited about, but is there anything else currently or going forward that you're really excited to share with?
I'm really excited to share our distributor offering. I think Robert really has is well tied into the industry, knows a lot of ownership, knows a lot of people that are running a lot of independents across the country, and our bulk side of our business, the liquid side, has gotten a lot stronger in the last few years, and then we're heavily invested in spec gas now too. So we're trying to come up with a full palette to offer other distributors. So we're excited about that. I think you'll see us grow into that.
I'm just really excited about the generational change that we made, not only with Joe, but when you look at our team and you look at the key members in our organization, we've got a relatively young group now, and we've made that transition from some of the folks a little longer in tooth like me. These guys have stepped up, and I'm excited to watch these young people just grow and grow and grow and get better. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Well, two Southern gentlemen here. Really excited to see what you got in store, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you,
boys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. To see more interviews from the floor of this year's Contact Booth program, click the link in the description below.
Being active for more than 70 years, always following the original mission. Wherever gas is the integral part and provides energy for everyday life, there will be the technological and productive commitment from Cavagna Group.
With this being our last episode of 2024, we look back as we do each year on our most watched interview segments of the year. This is our 64th episode of GAWDA TV, and we ran our first episode all the way back on February 1st, 2021 on the topic of COVID-19. It seems like a million years ago, doesn't it? Thank you to the more than 38,000 viewers who've tuned in to watch for more than 2,300 hours since then. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your support. The most popular episode in the history of the channel took place just over a year ago, episode 52, Fulfilling Your Potential, where we had the opportunity to interview NextAir President Bill Proctor about the company's acquisition by Linde. How would you say that NextAir has changed at all since the acquisition, and what has the acquisition meant to NextAir's culture and to its customers?
To be honest with you, Steve, very little. Our biggest change, I would say, has been on the accounting side. Being a wholly owned subsidiary of a publicly traded company definitely has required some changes on the accounting side, and I think we've managed that well. At a high level, I would say that we've really been extremely aligned with LG&E, and at a high level, that is really take care of your employees, grow the business safely, and make good strategic business investments. From a cultural perspective, our mission statement is very intact, and that mission statement is to serve selflessly and assist eagerly to create customers for life. And that's our mantra, and we live that daily. On the customer side of things, I would say they've benefited from the additional product offerings that's come through the business combination, the vertical integration of the gas production, and also the research and development on gas applications. From an employee perspective, we're still developing talent and promoting from within, but now those opportunities are really more broader than just the Southeast. And then we think those opportunities should come from growing the business. So, we're very interested in continuing to grow the business organically or through acquisition. And thus far this year, we've completed 2 acquisitions and actively looking to see if there's a good fit to continue to do those throughout the rest of the year.
Our second most popular episode from 2024 was on October 1st on the very timely topic of addressing the driver shortage. The most popular segment from that episode was an interview with Atlas Welding Supply President and CEO James Kane. You just mentioned dry ice. This is your first foray into the dry ice world, so what made you want to get involved with dry ice, and what are some of the benefits that you've seen from that decision so far?
Well, everything we do at Atlas, it really begins and ends with the customer in mind. We had customers that we were delivering dry ice to. We were buying that from a couple of different suppliers. The suppliers that we're buying from, none of the dry ice that comes into our market is manufactured anywhere near our market. So all that dry ice has a very significant distance that it has to travel. And there are certain applications that enjoy a tremendous benefit vis-a-vis the freshness of the dry ice. The met fab applications that we see that we've been delivering to, they use dry ice rice and for blasting, and the freshness of that dry ice really improves their process, really improves the results that they get from that process. And so by introducing the manufacturer at our facility in Birmingham, we're able to consistently deliver fresh product to those customers, and they're really seeing a benefit. And then being able to manufacture at our own location allows us to take care of customers that may have uneven or unpredictable demand. I took a call last Friday from a healthcare facility. They manufacture vaccines for at-risk infants, and they needed several hundred pounds of dry ice within 90 minutes, or they were going to lose an entire batch. We were able to manufacture, load, and deliver dry ice to that facility within an hour of that call and save them a tremendous amount of loss.
And finally, our third most popular episode from this year was episode 57, our May 1st episode titled Cutting Edge Technology and Kicking Gas. In that episode, we were lucky enough to speak with the two co-chairs of the brand new technology committee, Hector Villarreal and John Verana. You said that it was 10 years before you got a call on automation. So what's that next thing? What's the next disruptor for GAWDA members that the technology committee will be focusing on?
So it was 2014, I believe. I was in Dubai for Gas World. And about a week earlier, I was working on my presentation. And for the first time, I added just a 5-minute piece on IBM's Watson, which was, just a thing that was developing. Watson had just beat Jeopardy. It had beat the chess champion. And I was talking about how, this isn't a fantasy anymore. This is coming, and it's going to be coming fast. And I talked about co-robots in the same presentation. Fast forward to today, and that is, co-robots is something that the industry's been pushing now for a little while. What people don't recognize is that we're coming to this period in time where robotics, biology, AI, and quantum computing are going to come together. And if you think things have changed quickly in the last 5 years, you have seen nothing yet. It is going to increase much quicker than everybody believes it is.
Yeah, with the prominence of AI, like you said, it's going to be, even already it's exponential pace there of how fast things are moving. And with that, another key factor is cybersecurity, because with all this change, you have to maintain, your security and how you're going to secure this as these new, technologies, are developed and as they grow, and that's going to be something we have to maintain and keep on top of as well.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add that for better or for worse, historically, the illicit industries are the ones to capitalize on new technology. If you don't believe that hackers are using AI to become better hackers, you are incorrect. So yeah, cybersecurity really has to become a top of the list imperative for everybody in our industry.
To see the full interviews of any of our most popular episodes from 2024, or to see any past episodes, click the link in the description below. If you have any topics in mind for 2025, or you'd like to be interviewed for a future episode of GAWDA TV, please reach out to us today. We would love to hear from GAWDA members on important topics for our industry.
The packaged gas and welding supply industry needs a comprehensive software tool to track assets and effectively manage price volatility, procurement challenges, and new regulatory requirements. Datacor ERP does all of this and more. Our software helps gas distributors refine shipping and inventory processes, improve production and distribution models, track assets, and achieve long and short-range planning with greater accuracy. Start using data to grow your business, enhance your productivity, and enable success with Datacor.
Today's member news segment is brought to you by Anthony Welded Products. With carts, cradles, cages, and pallets, Anthony has a model for every purpose. The GAWDA Professional Compliance Safety Seminar took place at Weldcoa in October and had record-breaking attendance. Thank you to everybody who made the journey to attend. Central McGowan announced that it had acquired the Safety Zone. Messer Americas named Corey Cox as its new CFO. Noble Gas Solutions announced that its Utica, New York store had moved to a new location. Crane announced that it had acquired Technifab. Airgas received the military-friendly 2025 Gold recognition. Ray Murray announced that Jeff Hopsicker was appointed to its vice president role. The IBDEA announced that its 2025 conference would take place in St. Pete Beach, Florida from March 6th to the 10th, 2025. Oxygen Service Company unveiled its new corporate logo. And finally, Weldship Corporation achieved its ISO 9001 certification, reinforcing its commitment to quality. To learn more about any of these member news items or to submit member news of your own, read the complete December 1st issue of the GAWDA Connection in your email inbox today or by clicking the link in the description below.
GAWDA Media is the go-to resource for news and information about the gases and welding industry. Through our wide variety of publication platforms, GAWDA Media keeps our members up to date on all of the most breaking news, emerging trends, and member events in the industry. Want to get your company's message seen? We have a quarterly print publication, a twice-monthly newsletter, an online buyer's guide, and a twice-monthly news show. If it's happening in gas and welding, it's happening on GAWDA Media. Want to learn more? Contact your GAWDA Media representative today.
And for the last time in 2024, that's our show. As a reminder, GAWDA has sent out its membership renewal notices for the year. To avoid paying a 5% penalty, make sure that you renew your membership before January 1st to take advantage of everything that the association has to offer in 2025. GAWDA Media is also hard at work on our 2025 GAWDA Buyer's Guide. If you'd like to be a sponsor in this year's Buyer's Guide, contact your GAWDA Media representative today. To see last year's Buyer's Guide, click the link in the description below. With the holiday season just around the corner, I just want to take this time to say thank you to all of you for your continued support of the association and to GAWDA Media. It really does mean the world to us, and we can't thank you enough. We hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. And now, as we do every year, we leave you with what's become a holiday staple here at GAWDA TV. Holiday wishes from your fellow GAWDA members. We'll see you in 2025.